Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey guys, Tim here with a quick programming note. So unfortunately with this episode, we had a couple of technical difficulties. Anytime you get a lot of guests on at one time and they're all coming from different devices and recording platforms, there's a chance that things could go wrong. And in this case, they did. Unfortunately, one of our guests, Savannah Steinhoff, who's one of the actors in Field of Screams, her audio did not fully upload the night that we did the interview. And because of that, I just could not salvage enough of it to include that audio track as part of our interview. So I had to kind of edit it around that. So if you hear us introduce Savannah, but she's not actually in the show, that's why. Along with that, because the track did not fully upload, we couldn't run this through our normal post-processing filters and things that do all the nice volume balancing and all that kind of stuff. So the audio quality is not quite up to our normal standards. So I just wanted to give an explanation for why that is. Again, sincere apologies to Savannah and the rest of the Field of Screams team. We really wanted to include Savannah in this because she had some great input, but it was a choice we had to make on either edit that out or just not release the interview. And I definitely couldn't do that because we want to support these guys in every way possible. And it was a great discussion, and we know you guys are going to enjoy this interview. So check out their movie, Field of Screams. We give you all the rundown on where to follow them and where you can check it out at the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we're learning and we'll make sure it doesn't happen in the future. Enjoy the episode. Hey guys, so back in 2023, I can't believe it's been that long ago, we had on a pair of awesome young filmmakers, Evan Runkle and Alix Mode, to chat about their upcoming film, Field of Screams. And today we're excited to say the film is on the verge of release, and we are excited to have Evan and Alix back, along with producer and star Calvin Shepard and stars Savannah Steinhoff and Jared Chandler. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks for having me.
To be back.
Yeah, it was great to have you guys back on and to get a sneak peek of the film as well. But before we get into it, I did want to let you guys kind of tell us just a little bit about yourself for our listeners who maybe didn't hear our last episode. And of course, we got some new guests on for this episode. So I don't know what order you guys want to go in, but just speak up and just kind of give your little origin story.
Yeah, we'll go first over here. My name is Alix Mode. I am the writer and director of Field of Screams. I got into filmmaking in college, so I've been doing stuff with filmmaking for, almost a decade now. Mostly shorts. So Field of Screams is my first feature that I've worked on, and it's my first feature that I've gotten to direct.
I'm the other writer and director, Evan Runkle. Some movies are so big, you need two of those. We met in college in film school at the University of Iowa. Before that, I just kind of helped out with folks in the community making horror shorts, features, anything that required a blood cannon, really.
Yeah, and then my name is Calvin Shepard. I'm the producer of the film, and I'm also in it as well. I met Evan and Alix working at a movie theater. Evan and I worked there together, and then met Alix through him. And they brought me a script, and I'm kind of like the guy that found the people to do it. And then we kind of worked together to find more people to fill in the spaces that I didn't have. And then and then when we couldn't fill any more spaces, I filled one of those spaces. It's kind of my job is just to take care of anything and fill the gaps where they're needed. So that's what I do.
So hi, I'm Jared. I met Calvin in college in a film class, and I was doing stand-up at the time. Still doing stand-up to this day. And then Calvin kind of like, told me about the movie, and I started getting in touch and working with Evan and Alix, and then a year and a half later, here we are. So
So yeah, no, I was gonna say it looked like you guys had a fun time in that shoot, which is always a good thing when that comes across in a movie. I think when you do that. But so we just recently saw a cut, like Tim mentioned earlier. So where is it at this point in regard to release? Is it like this it ready to go? It's like, or are you like gonna still tweak some stuff?
No, that's it. It's ready to go. It's ready to send out. It's yeah, it is sent out actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice,
can't
nice.
we
It's
can't
off.
say too much just yet. But it is ready to send out and has been sent out, and it's on its way
Out.
on its way out. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is because sometimes we get movies, and they're still like, okay, well, it's there's still a little bit more we're gonna work on or something. So I wanted to make sure, but that's cool. That's even more exciting now because I was gonna say, it's like especially these days, the world is a crazy place. So I love when I hear like such a good story. Like it was so cool that we had you on back like almost 2 years ago, and when you were just talking about planning it, and now that we got to kind of like we're at the other end of it with you guys, it's a fun thing because you guys were so awesome. We always talk about how great it was to chat with you both the first time, and to now see that your dream here is now ready. It's like it's so awesome.
No, it's awesome to be back with you guys. Like it's a cool way to kind of bookend the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to get to share. You guys are about the only folks that have seen it that haven't worked on it, or that there's been an attempt to get folks to buy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Nice. Are we gonna get special shirts that say that? Are we gonna like first time viewer? Nice.
So this question was more for the I guess for the actors. So obviously we saw a cut of the film that we enjoyed, but we kind of want to know, like, for the actors in the group, what attracted you to the project, and what about your specific characters was most interesting to you?
Calvin, why don't you go first?
Okay, yeah. Well, I joined out of necessity. Honestly, this was the we
Good
were
answer.
well. Okay, so we have I've been a part of a lot of features around here in this area for the past 10 years, and so we had one that was done, but is even though it's in post is further out than this film was, even at the point in which we were in pre-production, and so I'm very small part in that film, and in pre-production of this film, Alex and I watched it, and Evan was there too, and Alex said I'm sorry, the reason why I said this, Alex very specifically said afterwards is like, I want to put you in something, and that was like just a very small moment that we had together, and then after that it was like, we got to cast this character, and it spent there's just a lot of issues with it, as far as like how casting works and stuff, and we were coming down to the wire, and so then Alex and I and then okay, so what I snuck it to Evan to kind of softball it into Alex, is like, hey, what if what if this worked? And so it was really out of like, I joined out of necessity, but then once I did it, it was like, oh, this was a transformative experience for me, because I've been involved with film on the other side for so long that I hadn't ever like been in a movie to that extent, that much time been on the other side, and that was the struggle, because I wanted to like be worried about scheduling and stuff like that, and these two were getting mad at me. But yeah, I didn't have any like conception of what it was going to be like, so looking at the character, I wasn't ready for what it was going to do to me. So I did, but besides the necessity, that was what drew me to the character.
So the question is, what drew me to the character? Is that the question? Sorry.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what'd you find interesting about your character, and what kind of drew you to the project?
Okay. Well, what drew me to the project was, well, like Evan and Alex and Calvin kind of approached me for the role, but what made me stick with the project was just their dedication and their passion for the project. It made, and I've worked with Calvin a little bit, but I've like followed his films and stuff, and like I've always been a fan of Calvin, so I was pretty on board from the jump. But what drew me to the character, and what I really liked about the character and that I identified with, was like a lot of the like, the being trying to be a helpful partner and companion in like a difficult time, but like that idea of like joining a new group or like kind of being an outsider to a certain group, but you just want to like, and also being like the mom and being like, we got to stick to the schedule, guys, like we can't all just mess around. We gotta clean stuff, that I really like that part of my character a lot. But yeah. And then just like, being there, and even when like things are chaotic and like and crazy, so I liked a lot of different things about it.
Yeah, no, it was a good character too because I like I think everyone has been there at some point where when where your significant other has now you have like you got to meet the friend group or the family, and there's always that
Yes.
like that kind of like like well, do I say this? Do I not? Do I or you don't want to overstep your bounds, but you want to feel part of it. I thought you did a good job at like representing kind of that feeling because I know, like I said, everyone's been there at some had been there at some point. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this one's for everyone too, I guess. It seems like you kind of were all in this together right from the beginning. So, like most films, from when you get from an idea to production to release, it's a long but usually a very interesting journey. So, were there any like changes, I guess, from your original idea that and from the film or its characters that kind of changed along the way? And I know that we were there from the beginning too, but like it's you know, but I can't remember my like what I did yesterday at this rate lately. So so that's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, I mean, there were there were changes that happened in pre-production that were pretty big. Like and I think this happened before we were on the podcast with you guys. Like for the longest time, Jared's character was a woman, and then at some point got changed to a guy just because we liked that dynamic a little bit more and liked the kind of story we could explore with having like two male leads that are in a relationship. It just kind of gave it a little bit more meat and made it something we could like explore a little more authentically, something I could explore a little more authentically. But then like getting on set, you made a comment earlier like how Savannah does have some like very funny lines, and you weren't sure if it was intentional. Like we intended this to be pretty comedic.
Okay, good,
Like
good, good.
we were really like leaning into like the goofy comedic side of it. And then we got on set, and I think like the second day we just had Jared and then Jordan, who's plays Alan. We shot like a bunch of their stuff, just the two of them on that day, and like the two of them just took it so seriously. And Jordan specifically had this moment where he took a scene that was like already serious, like way more serious than either of us had thought of. And we're like, oh, okay, this movie's gonna change a little bit. Like we were like cutting jokes out. We had put in some like little funny lines for Jared to say in there that kind of just got cut completely because we're like, well, this scene isn't funny anymore because they're all taking it really seriously and it's not funny whatsoever.
Yeah, we're unintentionally serious too.
Yeah. Kind of one of those things that when everyone involved, like the cast and crew's taking it so seriously, you're like, man, this we wrote this to be kind of a dumb little horror movie, but like all these folks are on board for this idea. Like maybe it's not so bad. So kind of cutting all these jokey jokes at serious moments, and we're like, okay, yeah, now this is a movie.
Yeah, no, you had some great things, especially Calvin and Savannah's characters. I think that they had a great little relationship in there too. And the one scene I don't want to say I kind of don't want to I want to say with the scene, but without spoiling it. But the line with Britt, where Calvin's like, "That's Britt's hat. It's Britt's hat." And you know what goes on next. I don't need to go in because I don't want to spoil it. But it was just that part like cracked me up. I watched it a couple times actually to make sure I was prepared for everything, and it like that for some reason that part cracked me up like really both times. Just the way you delivered it, Calvin, was really good. So I think I think you and Savannah too had a great mix with your characters. Also, it kind of gave because I think every horror movie, no matter how serious, it needs a little bit of it's always got to have some levity in there. So I think to really like kind of make the serious scenes way more serious. So nice.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a lot of fun. And Alex put us through some fun like rehearsals for that too, especially like where like Sav and I pretended to drive the car to the location and have the whole conversation. And we were doing this in a public hallway. It was like people would like walk by and be like, "Don't hit that guy." But the same, they were just talking about how we took it more seriously, and I definitely think that's the case. Where like we got on set and like you could feel the weight of the story kind of like on top of you, and like you could feel like like there's some emotional stuff that I have to go through that like kind of start to like hit in a very real way, and they could feel that, and they were very very gracious in guiding us as directors, adding that on top of what we were doing. But I will say we did do adding jokes. We were adding jokes the whole time, and we were throwing in crazy stuff, and one in particular, because these guys are, and I'm not going to spoil it what it is, but these guys are big fans of the Raimi Spider-Man films, and right before they went and watched, we started shooting, they went and watched Spider-Man 2 on 35 millimeter film, and I had a scene where I did it right the first couple times where it was scripted, and then the like third time I came in and I quoted the Spider-Man movie, and,
Oh
and we kept doing the whole scene, and I'm looking over and Alex is standing in the corner with the clapboard like over her head because she's trying not to laugh and ruin the scene because I cracked them. But that's what we were trying to get them to break. The directors. We were trying to get the directors to break.
That's awesome. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, I want to talk too about the set, because you had like this farmhouse that had this really cool isolated feel to it. So what can you guys tell us about the location of the farmhouse? How'd you find it?
Yeah, so the farmhouse was really interesting because we kind of went on like a whole journey trying to find it. So for a little bit, we were using like the state of Colorado has a directory for like different spaces that are available for the public to use. And it turns out that hasn't been updated in some time, because we would reach out to people and they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or yeah, we don't do that anymore. Or this is actually closed. This does not exist anymore. Don't contact me again. I'm like, okay, dang, okay. So we switched gears and we decided to try our luck on like Airbnb, and like put together kind of like a pitch that was just like, hey, hi, we're shooting a movie. Can we shoot it at your Airbnb? Is that okay? Here's how many people will be there. Here's like a treatment of the film if you want to read it, so you kind of know what it is. And like we got one couple who was like really confused, or they like the response we got back was just, wait, what do you want to do? And then this other guy who was just kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? We're like, okay, cool. And so that worked out in that way. So it's a farmhouse down in Canyon City, which is near the Great Sand Dunes. So it's kind of in like the desert area of Colorado. So it's a little weird to be playing as a farm, but it is this like very weird green kind of farm looking area right in the middle of like a very desert like city. So we filmed, most of it is filmed there, and then there's a little bit that we actually got to film at Evan's aunt's house not too far away. But we got to have like a lot of the cast and crew just around on set for like the entire time we were filming. So like we were all just kind of like sleeping at the house or sleeping near the house, having breakfast together, obviously having like lunch and dinner together.
Yeah, that's kind of how a lot of our Colorado sets are kind of end up getting set up. In the past couple years leading up to this film, we've done that a lot, where it's kind of felt more like a camp. It kind of makes it fun and kind of gets everybody to buy in a little bit. And I don't know, it was just something about it where it was like we're having fun making movies all day. The three of us are stressed, but hopefully not everybody else is feeling that from us. And and then at the end of the day, we all get to hang out and be kids again, all hanging out and having a good time eating stuff off the grill, and there wasn't fires, but I think one night we ended up watching Shrek all together, and yeah. So and I think I would like more of the films to kind of go that way, where it keeps feeling that really tight knit group that we were able to create from doing that.
Nice. Yeah, it was cool. Now that I think about that, I wonder how many especially independent films, like how many are going to go that route of Airbnb, because it seems like it's, like I would assume someone like if I had a place that I was going to do it, like I totally rent it out. Like I have family members, they have a really cool old house in Ossining that's like from it's over like 100 and something years old, and they like actually people approach them all the time, and they had filmed that what was ever that hide and seek, that movie with Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning, was they used to film there, and what's that? It's that show with Kevin Spacey that was for a while that was on. I don't remember what it.
House of Leaves.
No,
Not
it's
House
House
a
of
of
Leaves.
Cards.
House of Cards. I'm thinking of a book. House
yeah,
of
it's not
Leaves.
that one,
House of
but
Cards. Yeah.
House of Leaves. No, it wasn't that one. It was
House of Leaves is my toilet paper
I think
brand.
the is it the Blacklist? Is that a show, The Blacklist?
The Blacklist. Yeah, that was James Spader, right?
Oh, James Spader, that's right, not Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey, James Spader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Different
I
old
think
white
there was
guy.
Yeah.
yeah, there was an episode of that film there too that you could see the house. So but from what I understand, they get approached all the time for that house. So it's kind of like if I like, so I was gonna say, like, I know I kind of took a long way to get here, but if I had like a cool, any kind of cool like location, I'd totally rent it on Airbnb for that reason. 'Cause that'd be kind of fun. I'd be like, can I just come hang out though? Like one day when you film it, I want to kind of see what's going on.
Well, then you can also like tell people like, "Hey, this movie was made here. Come stay here." If it
Yeah,
works out
see,
that way.
exactly. It's like an extra little like perk on there. See and I bet you like I know there's people out there that would purposely film. Like there's I don't know if you've seen that guy that he runs the Buffalo Bill House, and like we've talked to him at like conventions all the time. He basically bought the Buffalo Bill House at the Using Silence of the Lambs, and he rents it out. Like and like there's and like he does it. They'll do like special packages where you can get up to like 8 people, and they'll also give you a thing to tour different things in the area because I think it's in the Pittsburgh area. So that you can go to the mall from was it Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. So it's like you can have a whole horror experience weekend. And this guy, like, he goes to these conventions and he's got like props set up. He's got the stuffed little dog, like, and like in the basket and everything. So I'm like, the guy that like people will play that off. So it's like I'm hoping someday basically this thing becomes like, hey, you need to stay here. Field of Screams was filmed here, kind of thing. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
rooting for you
that'd
guys.
be sick. Yeah.
That'd be a good escape room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see that? Yeah, see
Yeah, you
now
start
you're
in the
talking.
pit.
Yeah, see,
They,
that's
they lower
awesome.
you down, and then you got to figure out how to get out.
I love escape room too, so I'd be all in for that. But so actually, it's perfect kind of lead in too because we're gonna get into the little horror aspect of it. So the scarecrow in this film, the main one, I'll say Billy. Um, so it definitely like, we both sort of kind of went a different direction than we see in most horror films, the design of it kind of thing. And I gotta say, I think Randy, right, was the one that
Hmm.
played. Oh
Shout
my
out,
God,
Randy.
the movements he made on that thing made it so creepy. The way he's walking around and he's contorting and bending. I'm like, I said, usually you see scarecrows, they're just kind of like, if you see them in a movie, they either don't move at all or they move like just like kind of like direct. This one, I thought it was so cool, the design and the movement of it. So what can you talk about, like the design of that?
I think a big thing for us was more not having him look so much like every other burlap masked character. Like I'm a big Trick or Treat fan, and we're like, okay,
Oh,
we have to have
Same
him
here.
not look like Sam.
Yeah.
And like we can't have him look like Jason when he's got the bag mask. Like what are we left with? And we ended up Randy himself often has kind of a bun in the back of his hair. And so we tried our best to emulate that with kind of a knot on top of Billy's head to kind of give him a nice silhouette. And then he was probably the earliest thing we got official for the movie. So we got him his costume early on. He took it to the dance studio he does stuff at and was just trying stuff out, calling us, being like, hey, what if I do something like this in the movie? We're like, we could probably fit that in. So he honestly is a lot of that character. I wish we could take more credit than we can.
Yeah, a lot of it was just Randy kind of feeling it out. One thing we did kind of give him was we were like, oh, Billy's, young, like he would be like a child, like he hasn't existed very long, and Randy kind of took that and ran with it and wanted to give him these very like childlike, I think he said like deer, like baby deer kind of movements, like he's still kind of learning to walk and still kind of learning how to interact with things. But yeah, no, a lot of it was just Randy like literally just sitting with the character. Like he would sit in his apartment in the full costume and just like sit there and think. Or like anytime we were on set and he wasn't in a scene, we'd have to remind him to like get out of costume.
Like it is hot.
That is like method acting. Wow.
Some of us had to double, and those costumes are insane. Like they're so hot, and the burlap sack is so scratchy, and like the fact that he would just do it for fun, like Randy, this is the type of role I've been looking for him. Like it's perfect for him, and like I showed them a video of him early on, and they were like, "Okay, that's our guy." And so he was not born, but I mean, like this was his role. Like this was his role.
His whole life has led up to this role.
He's gonna be typecast though as a scarecrow, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
Well, I love that. Like the one scene, I don't think this is much of a spoiler because I'm not going to say where it happens. But when he does that thing where he bends over backwards and gives a thumbs up, I'm like, that was like that is a brilliant move. I don't know if you guys came up with that or he thought of that on his own, but
that was all Randy.
That was all him. That was the first day of shooting. Like that's how he started the shoot. He was like, "I'm gonna do a back bend," and we're like, "Okay."
Like if I did that, I'd still I'd be picked up like 6 weeks later. I'd probably get off the floor. I'm so out of shape.
Snapchats of him like running on his hands and feet backwards towards the camera, just to show, hey, I can do this now. And I was like, great, that's terrifying.
Did you save all that? Because that's great Blu-ray special features there.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, good. Because I'm counting on that release on physical media. I want to get that and like have all that extra stuff.
That's our hope. We've got our fingers crossed. It's an option that we hope gets used.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, I know Brian would love that.
Yeah.
So. You guys, I want to talk a bit about this because you guys funded a lot of this movie on Kickstarter. And how important was the Kickstarter in making this film a reality?
Yeah, that's going to be an Alex question.
I mean, the Kickstarter was huge. We're independent. We don't have like a big studio behind us, so like a lot of it was just our money. We both have day jobs, so it was kind of just like our day job is paying for our night job, side hustle, 4-day weekend job.
The thing that costs money and doesn't make money.
Yeah. The thing that we do that makes us money was paying for the thing that we do that costs us money. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
That sounds like
hopefully.
I know. I was going to say this seems very familiar.
But no, so like a lot of it was what are we able to put in ourselves, and then the Kickstarter was huge for just not having to go into debt, because that was the other option, was to go the full Kevin Smith route, where you max out your credit cards and take on immense financial debt, and we weren't super keen on that, and the Kickstarter made it so we didn't have to do that, which was great, which I love. But no, the Kickstarter was great. We were really like pleasantly surprised to like get like raise over our goal, and like the amount of people that backed it was great. Like it wasn't just like, oh, we know a few people who had like a few $1,000s sitting around. Like we had, I think, over like 70 backers, which was crazy for like and like most of those people are people we don't know. Like, there's plenty of people on that list. Like, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like. And that was crazy. And, you know, knowing that those people, for whatever reason, you know, were really drawn to the project, thought it was really cool, like believed in it. It was great. And it honestly, like, I don't really know how far it would have gotten without all that support. Like we're still kind of riding on that support, like from the Kickstarter. Like it's been incredibly helpful. And like I said earlier, there's some stuff we can't quite talk about. But like having a successful Kickstarter is the kind of thing that helps with things you can't talk about quite yet. Yeah. But no, it was huge. It was huge to be able to like have something to show for ourselves so early on, and like have a little piece of success, and then get us all the way through filming, and then now we have something to share back with those people. It's just, yeah, like from a monetary point, yeah, like it was incredibly beneficial and crucial to have, but also like from a morale point of view, like I think it helped everybody kind of understand, like, oh, this is like real, and we're doing this, and people believe in it, and people want to see it, and that was invaluable.
Nice. So seems like this is I don't even know why I say seemed like, because I know this is a fact 100, but this is what it was. You have I mean, you obviously have such a great crew and an awesome cast. So this had to make for some great funny stories from the set. So I figured if everyone wants to, if they want to share one, or if you have some group ones or anything, any funny. Oh my God, sorry, Google Drive just went into night mode or something, and everything cleared. So I got lost my question midway. But my point was, if you have any funny incidents or stories from the set that you guys want to share.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in this group of us experienced this, but we kept hearing reports back of people being like, I don't know about this farmhouse. I think something happened here.
Well,
something moved that shouldn't have moved, you guys.
So in the very beginning of the movie, there's a shot where Billy opens a closet and he grabs some shirts. The door to that closet has like a latch where you have to press a button and then twist the knob at the same time. So it's really hard to open. And Randy was having a hard time like opening it with his gloves on. And that's I'm giving you that context because we made sure that door was closed by the end of the night. We all go to sleep. We wake up the next morning. One of our crew members was sleeping in that room and just woke up, and that closet door was wide open.
Nice.
Like the door that like everyone had been struggling to get open earlier in the day. Like just somehow during the night is like wide open.
You guys asked for funny stories, and we turned into, we're certain that place was haunted.
Yeah, you're like, funny stories, but like, there are ghosts there. Jared, do you have a...
What if it was me the whole time? That would be... I was just sleepwalking. Yeah. No. I don't know. I really enjoyed just riffing on set and like kind of improvising some of my lines. 2 of them made it into the movie, so I was happy about that. And then I don't want to embarrass you, Alex, but do you want to talk about the window?
Oh,
The
that was
what?
kind of funny.
The window.
I don't want to talk about the window.
It was really funny. I thought it was really
like, I don't know how much of this we can talk about.
So let's pretend it's hypothetical situations.
Okay.
So if someone restored a farmhouse from the 1890s and instead of securing a window just kind of left it loose,
Pastored it in there a little bit.
and then maybe if say one of the directors touched the window frame, a window might just fall out. And that might eat up a lot of a budget. This is hypothetical, town.
Hypothetically, it might cause a lot of stress. It might change the shooting schedule a little bit.
Cause me to drive over 12 hours in one day in one state?
Yeah, it might hypothetically might do that due to schedule changes. it might hypothetically also bring a cast and crew closer together through trauma bonding. Hypothetically, in Minecraft.
Well, even though that was hypothetical, Tim would tell you it would not be if I was on the set.
Yeah. A lot of barn cries.
Yeah.
That's funny too. Evan and Alex and I's therapy sessions were done in the barn. Like we wait until like everything was done, everybody else had gone to sleep or whatever, things were over. We're like, all right, let's go meet in the barn, talk till 3:00 in the morning about everything that we need to adjust for tomorrow,
and then we'll go to sleep.
And then the mobs disappear.
Yeah.
Jared, I should have known you were going to throw me under the bus.
Sorry.
I should have known.
You guys need a special feature on the disc that says like the barn sessions, where like, chat, like little like.
No, I'm gonna get you back
things.
though, Jared. We had this very funny thing where Jared's pretty tall, which you might notice because Jordan is average height to short. And so when they're both in the same frame, like there's a pretty big height difference. There's that like chandelier in the dining room that hangs down, and I think I lost count, Jared, but I think you maybe hit your head on that about 8 times.
So many times.
The entire time we were filming.
Yeah, not just the chandelier, just everything that was low hanging.
And that's true, yeah. Like
I hit my head on
door frames. Yeah.
I did notice a sequence where it looked like you were like cognizant of what was of your height, and you kind of ducked down in there, and I said, well, you guy kind of has to. I said, this guy looks really tall, and old farmhouses were not built for probably, or older houses were not built for tall people. They're great for me because I'm short, but I could tell, I could see like where that would come in, but then again, you think about it. I mean, Star Wars, right? The stormtroopers hit their head on it's one of the most famous scenes. So if you do, you should leave that in. It's
so
like an
true,
homage
yeah.
to Star Wars.
I think I hit my head on the chandelier like twice before we even started shooting. And then when we shot that scene, when Alan and I first walk into the house, we left it in where I'm like noticing it because it's like right at my eyebrow height, basically. And then I proceeded the weeks after to continue to hit my head on it, even though I knew it was still there. And after like the 4th or 5th time, it's like, when do I learn? At some point. At some point, I'm gonna catch on, right? No, just when I think I'm past it, I hit my head again on it. But
oh no,
I didn't break it, so
that's true.
Thank God. Now that I hear that, thank God I'm not told Tim. Imagine how many worse things would happen to me if
I'm sitting here listening to the story. We used to have a chandelier in our old house in the dining room, and we converted the dining room into a playroom for the kids. So the chandelier was still there, but there was no table to keep you from walking into the chandelier. And I've like over the course of years, I probably hit my head on that thing 50 times. And I never ever learned to duck and dodge that thing. So I'm totally 100% on board with that. I know where you're coming from.
I love that.
There's a scene where we're all camping, and we camp outside, and then we filmed it a couple of nights beforehand, and it was nice and easy to film. And then we go to film it during the day, and it's like in this greenhouse, and we have to have blankets on and everything, and it's like a sauna in there. So we're doing takes, and then they'll do a take, and then we all jump up and go outside and get water and pour water all over ourselves, and then go back inside, lay down on the ground, on the gravel rock ground. and it was so hot that it made it so easy to pretend like we were hungover.
That's awesome.
So I saw on Instagram you guys have a road tour coming up. So what can you share about the road tour? I want to hear about this.
Yes. Here, Evan, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah. So a big thing that was important to us, we're originally from Iowa, and a lot of that background's kind of channeled into the movie. It was important for us to show the film there. We still have most of both of our families there, a good chunk of our friends, a lot of the people we came up with making stuff. They're all still there. So it was something early on that we wanted to be sure to do a show there. And we definitely wanted to do a show here in Colorado. And our lead lives in Chicago, and another of the actors lives near Chicago. And just all these places together. I think it's mostly Calvin's fault that it turned into a road show. But yeah, just slowly over places we're like, well, we want to do a showing there. And then we're like, what if we just did them all and in a row and we just lived on the road?
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of a bigger initiative as far as our production company goes, which is the three of us, my brother, Vinette, my brother Sam, and then Kyle, our sound guy as well. What we're working on is bringing more independent films out to the world like this and doing it in a way that's not really been done before. I have been showing films here for the past 10 years, like I said, and we've made feature films. We've got them done. We've got them sold, and then we've done a show, and it's kind of, we're trying to grow that, and this was a great way to kind of do that. And last time I did this, there was kind of a gap between, and not a road show, but a show and then a release. There was a gap between that, and this. Hopefully, there won't be much of a gap between when that and when the movie's available for people to see. And then as far as what we're doing, we have more to come after this. We have a feature that's in post. We have a feature that's about ready to go into post, and then we have learned from this experience, and we want to grow from it in the sense of like, what can we do? How can we grow? And how can we make things happen a little bit easier where the things kind of go wrong? And we want to show these faces again, Savannah, Jared, everyone that was in those movies, and show them multiple times and create an industry here specifically. Colorado is very important to me and very important to us as far as films come.
And we also thought it'd be funny to just shove as many people as possible into like a van and drive around the U.S. for about a week.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had been wanting to see Iowa, so we wanted to be sure to let them do that.
Yeah, we wanted to offer our cast the opportunity to see the beautiful state of Iowa that we love so much that we don't live there anymore.
Well, Ray Liotta thought it was heaven, so I got you can't argue.
Well, that's so, great for Ray Liotta.
Yeah. No, I saw you guys. I guess you guys got one in LA coming up. That's the one I'm gonna try and see if I can get down there for. It's a drive for me, but definitely not as far as you guys are driving. But
let us know if you get to, and we'll definitely set a ticket aside.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to. I can buy the ticket. That's okay. I don't want to blow your budget.
That's one that we don't have tickets on sale yet. Because recently the town was on fire, so it's been harder to do much after putting down our deposit. But slowly we're announcing all the tickets for places.
They'll come out over the next month.
Too bad you can't get to the Bay Area. That's actually where I am. It's easy. That's actually got a big, huge like independent and art film scene. Actually, it used to be when I was back here. That's when I went to film school, was back in it was De Anza College. It was it's not really a film school. They just had a good film department, and they used to have some of the best like art cinemas. Like in San Jose alone, they had about, I think it was like 6 screens worth of art and independent films. They still have one now. I think they renamed it, and I can't remember the name. But the original theater used to be, there was this one called the Town Theater and the Camera Cinemas, and that's where like I would see, where I saw Reservoir Dogs like for the first time, and Naked Lunch, all those like movies that were not really at the main theater. So that's definitely one in the future that you guys should kind of keep on your radar. And then I can of course show you all around the town too. So.
We would love that, and we're always looking to grow and continue, especially with some of our upcoming releases and showing like that we want to spread the films out. That's the point. So
yeah, we'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, well, they have a big thing you want to look up. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just saying a really nice thing has been that folks commenting on stuff or like sending us messages being like, what, you're not coming to Albuquerque? You're not coming to Baltimore? Like, well, heck, I didn't think anyone would come if we did, but next time.
Well, look up also CineQuest, Bay Area, because that's a big film festival that they have, and a lot of people. I remember I had to like one year I ended up volunteering to work it just because I had some friends that were doing it, and needed some people there. So, and that gets a huge turnout like in the area. So it's definitely something to kind of keep an eye out for if you want to
Oh
if you want
yeah.
to look for places. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Oh, so sorry. And then I got so involved in that I forgot where we are in my thing here. So I guess with now it's about to be released and audiences are going to see it I guess in about a month, right? It starts April is when it hits the road tour, I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
April, yeah.
Um, so what are some of the things you want the audience to take from the film?
I mean, I think something that was important for both Evan and I was doing like a slasher movie or a creature feature that didn't feel like played out, didn't feel overdone. And we wanted to kind of try to get people to like see how much we could get people to empathize with like both the slasher and the people being slashed. Um and so I honestly I think like what we're hoping people come away with is the uncomfortable feeling of thinking that someone who just killed people is really cute and actually kind of sweet, and you'd maybe want to give him a hug. I don't know.
You did that. I felt you gave me feels for a scarecrow kind of thing. I felt bad for him at parts, I'm like, well, I've been told I'm very what was the word Cone used the other day? I'm empathic or
Empathetic?
something.
Yeah, empathic or something. Yeah.
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 He might have said pathetic also, I don't know.
Maybe it's
But
just pathetic. You're probably right.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Tim will tell you, I'm always feeling bad for something. In fact, his brother once said, like, well, what did he say again? He goes, oh, because we used to, Tim and I met through a theme park podcast. I think we might have told you guys
Yeah.
before. And so we'd always like have these meetups all over the country to go to different theme parks, and I forgot someone asked me to do something, and I couldn't do it, and I said, oh, I'm so sorry. And then like Tim's brother goes, oh, here comes the Brian apology tour starting up again. It's like so yeah, you definitely got me there with that one. So I will say that part came through because this and that's probably also a testament to Randy's portrayal of it because like I don't want to give away scenes, I could I'll talk to you guys after the thing about that another time about the
Yeah.
exact specific thing. But yeah, you definitely there was like a because there's really like I mean without giving a spoiler away, I think audiences should get that. I mean it was definitely, it's definitely a thought that this is kind of going through, because of what happened. And I'm sorry if I'm wording that weird. I'm just trying to be vague enough that I don't give
No,
anything
No,
no,
you're
no.
away. So,
good. You're
Makes
good.
total sense.
So
Um,
we always have to ask this, guys, and it's probably way too early to ask this. Is there any rumblings of a sequel?
We make a lot of jokes about one. I pitched one where the government wants this scarecrow making technology, if only to have a scene where a general yells into a phone, "Get me that scarecrow."
awesome.
But that's
Yeah.
probably not a good movie.
That
without
sounds
giving
awesome.
too many spoilers, I have I have a pitch that I give to them that if it blows up and you can do a Freddy versus Jason, a Alien versus Predator, like you take one of the characters and you have them come back from the dead, have their soul brought back by a crow, and then you have the crow versus the scarecrow,
Oh, I
and
like that.
that's my pitch to them.
There you go. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Jared, I don't think I've asked you. Do you have any sequel ideas?
Just like 100 more scarecrows. Like just get as many people as we can and just like throw them all at Alan and Justin.
Just throw them all in. Just like, hey, you thought it was bad last time.
Just crying and blood and gore. It'll be great.
Or maybe if you get the scarecrow wet, like they multiply. I don't know.
Yeah,
You get the
yeah.
gremlins
Oh,
on
no.
millions.
Yeah. You throw moonshine on
But
them.
you
Imagine
have-
like this whole field of scarecrows running down that like in Attack of the Clones when they're running at versus the Jedi and there's just a big thing. You
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of crows, a whole bunch of
Yeah,
scarecrows. I love
exactly.
it.
Yeah. And set it to some really awesome soundtracks just in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
I-
musical.
I can think of a few challenges there, but I like it.
Yeah, I can think of a few challenging things, but you might have something there. You might have something.
Tim will tell you I'm always coming up with like weird like sequel ideas for everything we that I see. So it's like, um, so finally, of course, so where can so because I'm sure everyone's now intrigued who are going to be listening to this. Where can everyone wants to follow you follow you guys, follow the film so they can keep up to date on if it's going to be showing in one of their towns.
Yeah. So they can follow. You can follow the movie at Field of Screams Film on Instagram. You can follow me, Alex, at Modest Mug on Instagram.
I like that name by the way, the Modest Mug like
Oh, thank
moniker.
you. It was on a mug that I had in college, and I thought it was really cute. And so now that's just my Instagram handle.
Yeah. You can find me at Evrun42. Just kind of my name smushed together. You can find all of us on a website that I bet Calvin will plug here.
Yeah, deescalatedpictures.com, deescalatedpictures.com/events for tickets. We will be constantly updating our ticket links on there. So, as you know, if you want to follow along, road trip with us the whole way. You can follow me at Calvin T. Shepherd Films. And yeah, we have De-Escalated Pictures Instagram as well, and you can follow those as well.
Yeah, and these guys have their own reasons to be followed too.
Yeah.
And I'm at Jared Chandler or _ Jared Chandler on Instagram, and I'm a stand-up in Denver, and I'm hoping to go on the road more this year, so maybe I'll get around a little bit more. But I'm based out of Colorado, and I also have a podcast called Stretch Yourself. It's only on Spotify right now. We're trying to change that. I got Calvin on there, and I got Evan and Alex coming up. Their episode's coming up here soon, and a couple more people from the film. And and Raspberry Cat Productions is my new production company Instagram handle. So that's all of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think we follow you. We made sure to I try to follow everyone we could on there.
Oh, awesome.
So that's it. Yeah, because I know you guys got some cool stuff on there. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really want to like give a heartfelt congratulations to you guys because I know it was so cool to, like I said earlier, to see you guys in the beginning when you were just starting on this. And now that we're talking about the release, like I had always hoped that this would, would be looking forward to this day. I'm so glad that we're here because I know you guys worked really hard and you guys really had the passion for it. So it really is a great thing to see that you guys have like got your dream and now it's on its way out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. You guys certainly helped by helping us get out there and helping us in all kinds of ways, and that's meant a lot at the time and now coming back.
Yeah, it means a lot to get to be back on here with you guys. Like you guys were there in the beginning and you're here now, which isn't the end by any means, but it's a long way down the road for sure.
Yeah, well, you'll come back on for the sequel, with
That's
whichever
right.
Oh,
one
you guys
yeah,
are
yeah.
welcome back
Yeah,
on. I mean,
yeah,
That's
for
a
your
whole
next
well,
big project.
yeah, all of you
technology.
guys. Seriously, anytime you guys need something, or even if you can't make it on, you just need us to help spread the word. We're always willing to help you guys, everyone out to make sure people get their dreams. Our dream is simple. It's to get a podcast. We got that. So now we'd like to help others.
We appreciate
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.